Warning: the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
All right, well, welcome everybody to another episode of the Coach's Box. Fellas, how we doing this evening?
Good.
We're here.
We are here.
Well, not all of us.
Well, not all
here.
of us.
Some of us, I guess, he'll say, some of us got to do a job. Some of us got a job to do.
Private school guys are always taking off time.
No.
That's never happens.
Never ever happens.
What's an off day?
Yeah.
Waiting to get to this Christmas break, right?
Sooner than later.
All the teachers. A few more days, we can get there. We can get there, guys.
Just hang in there.
Hang in there.
It'll happen.
Hey, it'd be nice. We're out till January 9th.
We are.
That's a long break.
Yeah, but we also go until next Thursday.
Oh,
Yes.
So
little give and take there, right?
So it's good stuff. Good times.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
So yeah, Jason's been at the Park Hills tournament seed meeting, and he's on his way back. So he's en route, and we'll get a chance to talk to him a little bit about his seed and the other seeds, and we'll see what he really thinks of his seed, and maybe he'll have some stuff to talk about. I don't know.
What do you think? What's the over under? What's the over under on him being happy with his seed?
I'm going to say under.
Okay.
I'm going to say
What do you think, Blair?
even.
Even. It's a push.
It's a push?
It's
You're going
a
with push?
Look at him. Hey,
Well,
he is not calling it like he sees it.
What a
politician. He's Mayor Bear over there, right?
yeah, Mayor Herky over here.
Oh, boy.
Vote for him. I don't know when the election is, but you might as well vote for him.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's
I'll make that announcement whenever it happens.
okay. Yeah, we can do it on the show. No. So
Sponsored by.
anyway, we do know what the seeds are, but it'll be we'll just kind of get Jason's take on it.
We'll let Jason go over
he'll-
who was what.
He might read through the seeds for us, and then that way. Hey, look, it's tough. It's a tough place for a JCA school, no matter how good you are, to go down and get a good seed. Especially, JCA small school, excuse me, because there's a lot of big school bias. There's a lot of traditional bias, and a lot of those guys they coach against each other 5, 6, 7 times a year. Seems like, so they're going to kind of be able to. This thing was probably already seeded for the most part by the time they all got together.
Though that never happens. Tournaments, districts, that stuff doesn't exist.
Yeah, whatever. You ain't call like you said either.
That's just, they didn't have to change the voting rules or anything like that, in the past 10 years, right? Just for that specific reason?
Except in our district last year.
Except in the state of Missouri. Well, that's whoever was running that didn't run it right, so,
I'm very much aware it wasn't ran right.
I am not a fan of being able to see who's voted for who, and I feel like to me,
why not? I like it.
I think it should be out there. I think it should be
Secret
out there.
ballot.
So I'm saying I don't think it is logistically in most tournaments. Like I should be able to say, hey, who do you vote for the one? You put it up over here and say, hey, I vote for this person, this person, this person. So everybody sees it because at the end of the day, that's the right thing to do.
Right.
Puts everybody in the right playing field. Nobody can say, well, I don't want to play them. I want them to be down, so I'm going to vote them a low seed. Well, you don't know.
You're right.
You don't know, and To me, it's kind of a raw deal when you go down into a tournament and you don't know who voted what and where and how and whatever. I think it's just tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So
You're gonna read.
I just read his text.
So hold on, time out. So since hopefully he's only listening and not watching because it's raining out. So Jarvis, take care and make sure you drive safely first.
We said earlier that we were going to go on a few minutes early and jibber jabber back and forth.
Exactly.
And now you might have said some kind of other time we had that Jim
Fiddle fart.
Powers
Fiddle fart. Come on, hey, you can
Powers doesn't know what
you
fiddle
can go
fart
ahead
is.
and comment. How many of you have ever heard of the term fiddle fart?
And we all said
Everybody
Well,
has.
anybody that's north of the Merrimack probably doesn't know.
Never
it. So
heard of
sorry,
that,
Jim,
right?
but you just are north of the Merrimack.
That's pretty rough. But no, we didn't want anybody to think that we didn't want to, come on the show this week. And last week we wanted to, but we had a lot going on.
It is busy this time of year for everybody.
It is. Especially
holidays, coaching, just a little bit of everything.
got a lot going on.
It is.
I tell you, speaking of going on, while we're waiting on Jason, if you guys like documentaries and you like sports documentaries, I think I'm about halfway through this new season.
Again.
Last Chance U. It's the basketball season. What? I don't understand why Chris over there doesn't like it. If you like
I
it,
haven't
if you
watched
like
it
that
yet,
stuff,
but you talk about it all
it's
the time.
awesome. It's awesome to see kind of the stories.
You're like one of those Game of Thrones guys.
I've never watched that.
I mean, me neither, but
Anyway, it's a great. The football series was great.
I
The basketball series is great. It's just interesting to see behind the scenes of the junior college life and to hear some of those stories of the different athletes, whether it's football, whether it's basketball. But this season just came out, I think, on Monday, and I'm a few episodes in, and it's the East LA College JUCO from the first season, and it's neat. All I can say is if they think you guys are hard-nosed head coaches, they might want to watch that a little bit.
I've never been called that.
You've been called a few things.
Mostly by parents.
No, mostly by your assistant coach.
Oh, not this guy.
Yeah, where's Eddie?
There we go. Yeah.
I didn't say him. I just said assistant coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? It wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
It wasn't me. I don't do that. I don't get
Nobody
mad
ever
at
talks
kids.
bad about people. Nobody ever
To
gets
their
mean.
face.
Nobody
They
ever
get
gets
anonymous letters mailed to them, mailed to the school.
To the school board.
anonymous,
Yeah,
even better.
anonymous.
Seven letters.
Or most sports.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how it
back
is.
behind a name.
back in the day, most sports used to kill a lot of coaches.
It did.
I mean,
Most definitely did.
But you know what? It's not nearly as much fun anymore. It used to be a lot of fun to go on there and read stuff, and it's just not.
Did we lose our First Amendment right? Well, obviously not, because we're still doing this.
That's right.
Because if we did, we would not be doing this.
Well,
Hey, so while we're talking about, I'll go ahead and give a recap of our Doe Run tournament last week. We had
I thought it was the Town and Country Red and Black Classic.
it was. I consider it that, but it's been the Doe Run for 23 out of 25 yards.
Wait, the question is what was on the plaques?
Town and Country.
Okay, well, this is Town and Country.
Sponsored by.
It's sponsored by Town and Country Bank. So Peevely, and they did a great job.
They paid for the naming rights.
They did. They did.
So give them the rights.
But we had a
Still
we
the
had a great,
TWA Dome, right?
That's right. It is because they still name it. That's what they pay for.
Right.
We had a great tournament. Ended up having some really good matchups throughout the entire week. I felt like it was a good week of matchups across the board. I mean, the way we seeded that thing, you could have been from a 3 to an 8 and had a legitimate chance to win. So I felt like it was a good week. Ended up in the championship. The 1 and 2 ended up in the championship on Friday night with Lutheran South and North County. And Lutheran South, the 1 seed, ended up beating North County by I think 7 or 8. And then we were very fortunate and lucky enough to get into that third place game and as a 6 seed and be able to knock off Notre Dame St. Louis, the 5 seed, to go 2-1 on the week. So we had a pretty good week last week. And then let's see, in this a consolation championship.
I say a lot of close games.
Yeah.
Even from, night one going all the way through.
All the way through.
Because I think St. Pius, they lost kind of on a buzzer beater.
Yeah, to Notre Dame.
Yeah, against Notre Dame. And then Coach Jones and Crystal City, they beat Pacific on basically a last-second type play.
Yep.
That they called the timeout, drew one up, and there's a lot. Grandview in the opening round against Lutheran South played a really, really tight ball game. I think 7-8 points.
Yeah,
something like that.
I mean, and the other thing is pretty much every single game minus a maybe 1 or 2 out of the 12 games was solid. So to me, that's what you're going for when you put a tournament together. You look at it and you go early season tournament. You don't know what teams really have. You don't really know what your kids are going to do. I mean, you're early. Maybe had maybe 3 or 4 weeks of practice in your belt, and so you're playing games and you're trying to figure out your team and trying to figure out what you got. And so those kind of tournaments to me I enjoy because I feel like it lets me see what my kids are able to do and what they're capable of doing,
and what you need to work on.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
yeah. And I think that's the key. And any early season tournament, I feel like a lot of coaches don't want to get them, but to me, I think they're important to let your kids see, hey, man, we are not ready for conference play, or we're not ready for the Big Tide tournament down at Park Hills or Viz or wherever the Christmas tournaments that you're in.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, we're actually talking about it on Jim Powers' show, which will come out tomorrow at noon. With a little shameless plug there with the new graphic on the move with the Caravan Sports Preview Show with Jim Powers. I want to thank David Shaw for a little help with that from Maritime Sports. Thanks, David. But we will have an episode coming out at noon, and we're actually going to be talking about the Town and Country Red and Black Classic.
Whoa!
Hey.
Watch out!
Little recap of that. We also will talk about the Webster Groves Classic. You want to talk about some good basketball, man? I mean, there's several state ranked teams, and Webster Groves coming in that tournament was number 1 in the state, and they didn't even get third.
Yeah.
So CBC won that. But
I saw that.
But some good basketball, and I agree. I think you got to play in those games. And you're trying to get your kids, you're trying to get a gauge of where they are. And when you play, if your conference schedule is kind of like some of the conferences that are around, even with the larger schools, or if you go down to MAAA those schools, you don't want to play the same guys, play the same kids all the time. You're not really getting an accurate gauge yourself because the familiarity is so high. Right. So you go play in tournaments where other schools aren't. And you're going to benefit from it. It's like playing a non-conference schedule.
Right.
And if you're a team that's on the precipice of being legit and good and, a top team, then you want to play the best competition that you can. Oh, my gosh. Look at this guy.
There he is.
Oh, boy. He's just going to cut right in front of the camera.
He didn't even bring one. He brought a... Right here.
Look at that.
Yes.
Man.
I take back all the bad things Miller said about you.
What? I didn't say it. I'd say him to his face.
That's true.
Hey, when you get the 8th seed and then you got to beat North County and then play...
You heard it here first.
And then you got to play Park Hills if you win that one. You need a beer.
Man, I mean...
But, okay, so let me ask you this question for all of you guys since we're talking tournaments. Okay, do you want to...
Fair.
Do you want to play a boatload of games in December? We're talking about, and I'm going through November, December to the new year as much as possible, so that way when you get into the new year, you get into conference play, you get 2 games a week, weather permitting, and then you can work on stuff for the postseason? Or do you I want to space it out? I want the practice time. I want this, that, and the other.
I wish I would have added a couple tougher opponents early now, but too late.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's another thing that you talk about, like when you're in a Christmas tournament, and you've maybe only played 3 games. And maybe you only played in one tournament. You had 3 games in a tournament, boom, and now you're seeding for a Christmas tournament, and you really haven't been able to challenge your kids. And you're going down and you're getting in a tournament that's top notch, and you're putting yourself in a position where you're going, man, I don't feel like we're prepared, or maybe I feel like we're prepared for this tournament, but nobody else does because they don't know my kids. And how much you can sell your kids on when you've played 3 games compared to somebody else who's played 8, maybe have played some really good teams and competed.
Well, you want to spill the beans on the seeds?
No,
right?
we'll let you do that.
We actually said we were going to let you do that.
We're going to do that after break, but I want to keep talking about this. We're not breaking yet.
No, we're not.
But my thinking
I just got here.
I know.
Got here,
I know.
man.
I never said break.
And I brought a gosh dang Pepsi.
I know. I appreciate it. I appreciate
Man.
it.
But his feelings were hurt last time.
He
so
was majorly hurt.
Hey, well,
He's kind of sensitive.
I've noticed that.
Just a tad.
I didn't know you
don't like being left out.
Sensitive guy like that. On your
I don't
staff.
listen to him. When he starts getting sensitive, he gets butthurt. I just go over there.
Just go over there.
Hey, here, go over there and deal with the other sensitive issue stuff that goes on in practice. Oh, here, you take care of that kid.
Yeah.
You take care of that kid.
That doesn't happen.
Well, and it's hard
Sensitivity.
that you guys are talking about playing those games early. It's hard. Like if you're Park Hills, who lost to Festus early, probably doesn't lose to Festus early if their football team doesn't go as far as it does. So you're playing those games. You play some tough opponents early that could hurt you.
Yeah.
I always wanted to play as many games as possible going into the new year because I want to see where we're at. We get a lot of games in, and honestly, for the kids' sake, we don't ever know what's going to happen come New Year with weather. And we've had I can remember. I mean, we've had ice that shut us down 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then you get into the February, you get some snow, and then you get games canceled.
And then you're stuck because you have to play your conference game. So then you may lose some other games just because the only night you could make up conference games, the same night you had another game. You're like, sorry.
I want to play this is me, and that's why I wanted to ask you guys your thoughts on scheduling and
if I know
all
that I'm going to have all my kids. I'd like it. This year I was a week later with my kids. But, I mean, I guess it hasn't affected us too much yet. So it's just a hard balance. I mean, we played 5. We got 2 more before Christmas break. So I have 7. And then we'll start the Christmas tournament. Now, if you didn't have a Christmas tournament, I would try to load up a couple more, play 8 to 10. And then you have that Christmas break to iron out whatever you think you need to iron out.
You know,
That's what I do.
In northern Missouri. There's not a lot of Christmas tournaments up there. So, was it North Central Missouri College, NCMC, whatever it is? I don't know where that's exactly located. But anyway, it's up like northwest Missouri area, and they host a holiday shootout that's like 2 days. And a lot of teams that don't play, they don't travel to play in a Christmas tournament will play in those and, pick up a couple games here and there. So like you're saying, you would load up, as close as you can to Christmas. You'd go and play a couple games in that. I think it's 2 or 3 days. It used to be. I don't know if they still do or not. It was a great idea because that's a lot of coaches up there were like, I don't like giving my kids off that much. I mean, it's a long time to not play, and I know sometimes you need that because of injuries and different stuff. But
I'm sitting here with the way Christmas falls this year, and then we play on the 26th. So that just sucks.
You got to have practice on Christmas, don't you?
No, I'm not.
You're not going to do it?
No, I'm not.
No, Chris. It's called family time, Chris.
Gosh, just calm down. I was just messing with him.
Now,
I'm not going to have practice. I'm not having practice on Christmas.
If my kids change my mind, then okay. But if you were going to do that, it'd have to be at like 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock at night. I'm not. We play on that. We don't play till 5:30.
That ain't happening either.
Yeah. We don't play. Well, I don't know. You guys are always late.
No, we're not. Tell me about it.
No, we're
Tell
not.
me about it.
So-
No, we're only early when the girls play.
There you go.
That's the only time you're early. So, so I'm already trying to think of what we're going to do. Since we play at
JV
5.
practice is now going to be from 8 to 9:30.
All right, Kosi, you're up.
So at least I know we play at 5:30, so I can at least have something that day of the game. Nothing, no big hard practice, but we can prepare. And we play DeSoto on Tuesday, so then I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I know who I'm playing in North County, and I'll be able to scout that.
The thing that I like, and we started this about 4 or 5 years ago, as we got out of a Christmas tournament. We try to play between 8 and 10 games before Christmas. Kind of get your feet wet, and then have a little time
if
over
you could
Christmas
get in that
break.
Park Hills tournament,
Well,
you'd
sure
be
it
in
would.
it.
But the point of it is if you. But I'd like to try to play 8 10, and I've utilized the last few years where we've done over Christmas break. We brought in our kids and we've worked on skills and worked on our skill development and getting our kids more skill oriented work, because we don't have a lot of time to do that in the beginning of the year because you play so fast. I mean, the seasons happen so much faster now than it used to, where you're playing a game after 12, 13 days of practice. And so, I think it's just, not practice, but 12, 14 days in there and remix of it, and you're playing a jamboree or you're playing this.
You had your full squad practicing their first day of practice. I don't want to hear it.
But you don't think
You
about
had your full squad. Guys, coaches don't have that luxury if they're playing football.
Well,
Nope.
they don't. You're right. But I'm
Or
just saying
soccer.
is that's why I think it's
Yeah.
very important to think about. Like, that's why I like playing 8 to 10 games before Christmas, because then I get that time off, and then I go. Then I only have 16 games between
Thought you guys
January and
agreed on
February.
everything.
So
Public school
maximum
guys
you're going to
stick
play
it together.
2 a week.
Hey,
And
dude,
so 2
I
a
only
week,
agree that
you're not
he
playing 3 or
starts that
4
Jarvis
games.
girl.
and-
There's
and
about,
just-
after that, it's about it.
I think it's important to.
We're having our own
Can you put? I would say, can we put a split screen?
want
and
to?
then
Actually, we
audio.
are.
Can you audio the left side for us and the
Okay,
right side
go
for
ahead.
you
No,
guys?
no.
But I do think it's important to you'll say you play 10 games before Christmas, and then you play 16 games after Christmas with 8 weeks in the mix of that. You get 2 games a week on an average, 2 games a week. I think that's good at later in the year because you want to keep your legs fresh. You want to keep your kids, being able to work on some things in between games and that kind of thing. Where having 3 games in a week in late January, early February to me is crazy. It's crazy. But
No,
it's
so
getting easy.
our tournament over
Yeah, it is-
our
it's
boys
crazy.
tournament's crazy.
It's crazy.
because it's the last week of January.
Well, we play one that
speaking
week,
of
too.
averages, he was talking about averages and stuff. What's Jill averaging points per game wise?
I don't know. I think it's close to double digits.
Is it?
I'm not sure.
Is she the leading scorer right now?
No, she's not the leading scorer.
Second leading scorer?
The player of the week is the leading scorer. Yeah.
So is she like second leading scorer?
Third.
Oh, she says she's.
Is she
third.
starting?
She did start.
No, not that did. I mean, that's like is she starting?
She had a rough outing last time, but she's.
Well, if you'd have more varsity experience, she'd probably be ready to go for this year.
That's probably true.
Wow.
That's probably true. That's saying that all the rest of the 12 girls that I have, 11 of them don't have a lot of varsity experience.
Too
So
many kids.
what happens,
Yeah, well, you won't even get into that.
Hey,
But-
I can't.
Can we borrow a couple?
We had
So wait a minute. Are you going to repay the favor this year and cancel the JV game?
Hey,
It depends.
Hey, healthy. Now, so not only are we injured, now it's just like a boom explosion with COVID, flu, RSV has hit.
and went 2 foot injuries back to back days.
Not great.
Yeah, one of them was a JV kid who's just coming back from being injured, and then one of our kids got hurt in the DeSoto game, and I don't know what's going to go on with him. So it's like, yeah, man, we might have to be like having tryouts for next semester. Just like, hey, anybody want to play?
Mid-season walk-on. We'll have some
Call you a
walk-ons
walk
there.
on.
Yep.
Is that a red shirt year?
Hey, you better start that now so you get them 14 days of practices in.
Hey, you better.
I'm telling you,
do it before you get out of school next Thursday.
It's been rough.
It's been a rough
Hey,
go.
It's been rough.
that's a gosh darn positive right there. Getting out here soon. I got tomorrow and Friday and 3 more days, baby. Christmas break.
That's what we just said. Teachers hanging there again.
Teachers just hanging there.
And I'm going to visit Mizzou tomorrow with Dylan. So
Oh, yeah?
I mean,
There you go.
Nice. Hey, Shakespeare's. Get you some Shakespeare's.
That's what I said.
Well, we'll talk off air, but I don't know.
Bring
if that'll
back some
happen.
Shakespeare's.
I don't know if that'll happen. We'll talk off air.
It's after hours talk, I guess.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
Which part? The Shakespeare's or?
Man, that's so good.
All of it.
Oh, well, it's it comes in waves. It's your classes that you have coming through. I mean, everybody here is taught and coached at public school, and that's exactly how it goes.
Well,
It's
not anymore, but I mean, yes.
And it's not any different. It depends on who shows up and who's going to come out and play.
That's an admin talking there. It's an admin
Any
talking.
difference?
It's exactly what I'm doing. I'm calling it like I see it.
Yeah, maybe at Pius it isn't any different.
You have the same. Oh, I'm sorry. Public schools, they don't recruit or anything. It's
called,
only
hey,
private schools.
It's called coach speak, admin speak over here.
I'm not admin.
He's admin.
Nope.
How many phone people you sent to him this year?
Zero phones.
Zero.
I'd send them right back.
I would send one every day.
I would send it right back.
Maybe that's man. That's what I should have done to Gilman last year. Just consider him. Yeah, oh, you want to talk some smack here? Have another. Have another. I won't do that to Mr. Caston though.
Nice. Well, all right. So,
All right, so now that you're here, I'll let you make the call because we've got a lot of different things to talk about.
well,
Do you want to go ahead?
We're gonna need to go to break here in a sec.
Okay.
And you want to give him the over under? Give him your over under. Oh wait, we'll do that off the air.
Yeah, that's
we'll
off
do that off the air.
my mind's gone blank.
All
I
right.
don't even remember what I said. Or what we
Really,
said.
you don't?
No, dude. It's 8:40.
Oh,
It's been a long
past your
week.
bedtime.
It is getting close.
sorry. This guy.
Refreshing.
All right.
Right, it is.
Not even like Ultra. How about that for you too?
Oh, appreciate that.
You're the man.
Yeah, you're watching the coach's box though.
I'm a tailgater tailgating to get to my tailgate. Now, it might not get me there any faster, but hey, it gets me ready for football. Let's tailgate.
I can't go anywhere.
But you're so busy watching me tailgate that you don't see the one in front of you. And your cut rate car insurance, it might not pay for this. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
New at Case & Buck's, all-you-can-eat soup and salad all day, every day. Choose from homemade soups like tortellini, loaded steak, green pepper, and many more. 7095 Metropolitan Boulevard in Barnhart, Missouri, just off 55. See our full menu at caseandbucksbarnhart.com.
You aren't looking for a cookie-cutter experience with your agent. You are looking for someone who is going to go above and beyond or think outside the box. You are looking for someone who is going to be there for you no matter what, and someone who is going to walk you through the entire process. My name is Kelly Kaufman with Gateway Real Estate, and my passion is the people I work with. Real estate is personal. A home is not just the four walls, it's the people who live there and the memories you share. That's why I focus on the people I serve and make them a top priority throughout the entire process. I'm there for you. No matter what your budget is, no matter where you are, and no matter how long it takes, I will be there with you every step of the way. If you are looking for an agent who cares about you and will do everything to make sure you are taken care of, give me a call, 314-221-6090.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Coach's Box. We're going to kick it over here to Coach Jarvis.
Mr. Black Cat.
That's right, Mr. Black Cat. I got Mrs. Black Cat over there.
Oh.
Just joking.
Bird. All right, Jason.
Rare, right? I just had to have a little fun.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's get into those seeds.
We got the 67th annual Bob Sechrist Jr. Central Christmas Tournament coming up. Starts on the 26th, the day after Christmas, and we were fortunate enough to be able to play on that day. But I'm going to sit here and go through the seeds, and maybe we can have a little discussion on what
I am thoroughly looking forward to this.
About what you guys think. So, you're hearing it first here. I mean, this thing is still warm from the print machine down there
nobody
at Park
can see
Hills.
it. It looks like a blank piece of paper,
Well, that's
Jason.
fine, but it's still kind of warm.
It's got that Rebel ink.
Yeah, it's got that Rebel ink on it. Well, speaking of the Rebels get voted the number 1 seed, and they will play Monday, December 26th at 4 o'clock against the 16 seed in Perryville.
Okay.
Then you have the number 2 seed, which is South Iron.
Yep, we'll see them Saturday.
South Iron plays the 15 seed, which will be DeSoto, and they play on Tuesday, December 27th.
And DeSoto just beat us.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So then you have the 3rd seed, which, I think some people could debate they're the 2 seed, but they're the 3rd seed, and that is Festus. And because Festus and this team that they're going to play always love playing each other, they got to play Crystal City.
All the way, got to drive an hour down just to play.
Well, and this is like Festus and Crystal always end up playing each other at this tournament. Almost, it seems like
I think everybody does it just because they don't play each other anymore.
Yeah, they don't play each other anymore. No.
They just played a couple years ago.
Yeah, not anymore. For that one tournament.
Yeah, that one game. It was what do they call it?
It was the T. Douglas or whatever.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
They played each other. It was at Festus.
That was last time.
Was that last year or 2?
2 years ago.
Last time.
That's the last time they played. They dropped it.
Did they?
They weren't playing regular season, but they've played a lot of times down here at this tournament. So very interesting.
All right.
Steelville, very tough team, and Jefferson will be playing them.
They played last year.
Jefferson is the 13th seed, and Steelville is the 4. And I believe, did Jefferson beat them last year?
No.
No? Did they play in the first round?
I think so.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Jefferson won a few games down there last year, though. Maybe it was the year before.
But Steelville is pretty good.
They're solid.
Pretty good Class 3 school.
Yep.
They're state ranked.
Yeah, they're
And then your 5 seed is St. Jen.
Yep.
And St. Jen will face off against the 12th seed Farmington.
Wow, Farmington's is 12.
Well, they're 1 and 4.
I know.
I mean,
I can't remember the last time I remember a Farmington team being seated
They're
that low.
very young, I think.
Yeah, they're really young. From what their coach said, what I listened to tonight. So that's your 5-12 matchup. Then you have the 6th seed in Hillsboro, and they are matched up against the 11th seed in Arcadia Valley.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No comment. 7th. The 7th seed.
We see Hillsboro Tuesday, by the way.
That's why Chris is not
I know.
saying
That's why
anything.
That's why I wasn't either, because I knew he was going to play him. But you got the 7th seed, the Potosi Trojans, and I went and scouted them over at R7 the other night, and they have an electric player in that number 24, Will Halt or Will something. But anyway, he is lights out, man. He had like 31 against Jefferson.
I think I remember him from the summer.
He was a freshman kid last year. Played at Districts and was really good.
Oh,
yeah. So that's Potosi. They're the 7th, and they're going to play the 10th seed in Fredericktown.
Wow.
And then you have the 8-9 seed, which you have 8 is Herky, and we're facing off against North County.
Wow.
There you go. Take on the Raiders.
That's right.
Zach, what do you think about North County?
I think they're very, very good. I mean, I know
I was talking about the school in general. But go ahead.
I love my time in North County.
They're
Jeez Louise.
3 and 4, but they played some tough competition.
Yeah, and you know Dan will get them guys turn around and start winning. He does a good job.
Let's just hope that's after the 26th.
I didn't say anything about. Yeah,
I know. I'm just saying.
I like both you guys.
Well, either one of us wins, and we get to face off against whoever wins that game. Gets to face off against the 1 seed, most likely.
Most likely, yeah. I don't think that the 16 has ever beat the 1 in this tournament.
The 15 beat the 2 or something, or I don't know, something.
Yeah, well, I think it was,
but I don't think.
Oh yeah, who was it?
It's 3 years ago.
No.
4 years ago.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Who is it?
I thought there was, but I could be completely wrong.
Well, Riley's completely wrong, but it's okay.
Well, let's look it up.
Go for it, man. Get on the Google machine and figure it out.
I will.
So, Jason, what's your takeaways on the tournament? Since you're the one playing in it.
Well, let me go back to my sheet here.
Uh-oh. Cheat sheet.
Got to get his notes.
You want your cheaters too, Grandpa?
How did the seed meeting go? I mean, to me, like I said, since I'm not a head coach right now, I'll just kind of talk.
Oh, so you want to know how you voted?
No, not how we voted. I'm talking about just, to me, I just look at it as I think it is going to be a very, very good tournament. And I think there's going to be some good matchups, whether it's the first round or whether we get into, Wednesday and beyond. There's, I think, a lot of parity. I think you've got some dark horses in there. I don't even want to call them Cinderellas. I think you have a lot of good matchups in this Christmas tournament.
Well,
and unlike maybe in the years past where one team is probably going to either win it or get to a championship round, and maybe there might be, only 2 or 3 that have a chance. I look at this and I think, man, there's a lot of teams that could probably wind up getting to championship night.
You got 3 undefeated teams in South Iron, Stillville, and us. You have several teams with only 1 loss. You got all the guys, a lot of the teams that played out there at Hillsboro last week. You have Park Hills, who won that tournament last week. You have Stillville, who just won the Sullivan tournament. So
that's always a tough tournament too.
There's going to be some tough competition. You got St. John, who's playing really, really well right now. They got 3 guards that are pretty solid. I mean, you go up and down. I mean, on any given night, you got Fredericktown, who's got the Starkey kid who can go off at any moment. I mean,
it's matchups. We've talked about that over the years about come district time, but in a tournament like this, it's similar to it. It's going to come down to matchups. It really, really is.
Matchups and who's playing well at the time. I mean, you can come into this tournament and not be playing very well and then just take off and make a run. And, I think we're on a pretty hard side of that bracket if we win. And, the way I look at it is, and hopefully my kids will look at it this way, take it as a challenge. If you think we're better than the 8, go prove it. Go prove it. And the only way to do that is to beat the good teams.
I mean, if you want to win it, that's what you got to do. You got to go out there and beat the best teams anyway. I remember when I was in school and we won it. I think we were the 6. I think we were the 6, and our very first game was against West County in the first round. We had beat West County a few weeks before in the AV tournament by like 20-some-odd points. Dan Johnson played on that team too. They took us to 3 overtimes, and then we beat them. And then we had 3 kids quit because they didn't like that the underclassmen played. We had a team-only meeting before we got on the bus the next day because, you play back-to-back.
Won that tournament?
And we won that whole stinking thing. Beat Park Hills on their home court after they had beat us by at least 25 points on a Saturday down at Mac. It was a Saturday massacre, and then we turned around and beat them on New Year's Eve night. It was sweet, man. I gotta say.
You got to look at,
but you get hot.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you look at it. You already got Festus, who has beat Park Hills. Park Hills has beat Festus. Yeah. If those 2 teams could end up matching up again, I mean, there's a lot of teams in here that I think have the potential to be able to run and win that tournament. I'll tell you, a dark horse in this tournament for me is Potosi. Potosi is long. They can shoot the rock. They play really stingy defense, and they're sitting there at the 7th seed, and they got Fredericktown to start off with, and I think if they win that, them and South Iron, I think they're going to give South Iron a battle.
My dark horse, and I just want to double check to see where they are on the bracket. And I know a lot of people probably from St. Pius are probably not going to think I'm going to say this, but I think Steelville. Is a team that a lot of
they're a 4 seed. How can you call them a dark horse?
Because
Potosi's a 7.
They're not a traditional team that's a powerhouse. They're new to the tournament. And compared to most other schools,
they had a pretty good run in the tournament last year. They won a district last year, didn't they? I think. I mean, they're
I don't know
pretty.
If they won it last year.
They won last year.
They won the year before, though,
Yeah,
and then they did not win the year before that. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't consider it a dark horse. If you're in the top 4, that's not a dark horse.
I don't know. I just think they're going to be like the team that maybe the prognosticators or anybody who sits around the coffee shop and talks about, they're not necessarily thinking about them because you just don't see them play. You hear about, they won the Sullivan tournament. The Sullivan tournament is pretty legit. Yes. And
they beat a Potosi team.
Yeah,
well, and if they do win and St. John wins, that's going to be a fun 4-5.
I think that's going to be a good matchup.
That'd be a sweet 4-5 if both of them can win.
Yeah, that quarterfinal night could be some really, really good basketball games. Honestly,
well, I think no matter who wins between us and North County, it's going to give Park Hills all they want, and you got Stillville and St. John could end up playing. I think if South Iron and Potosi end up playing in the quarterfinals, that's going to be a big game. And then you have Festus and Hillsboro. If those both win,
they're matched up.
Yes, wow. Festus is on the bottom half of the bracket there. They play Crystal, and then Hillsboro plays Arcadia Valley. So if Hillsboro and Festus both win, they'll be that 3-6 matchup on that quarterfinal. So, dude,
man, that quarterfinal
could be
crazy
some
night.
Awesome basketball.
That might be one
what
of the
day
best
is that? I might
sports.
have to go to that.
It's on Wednesday.
Is it?
You're not going to be able to go to that.
Why not?
Oh, well, you can go. See ya.
But that'd be on Thursday.
I'll eat all the free food.
No, I'm looking at it.
Because Tuesday, Monday's the 26th. That's right. Yeah.
They split the games, but you have
Blair,
the girls.
Blair, I have the bracket in front of me.
Hey, you forgot. They got to play some girls games in there somewhere too.
Yeah. Mondays and Tuesdays, the first round games.
Would they ever consider, and I don't know if you can because everything's got to involve money.
No.
Would they ever try to play over at Mac?
Why?
I'm just asking because we have a show and I'm trying to get us to talk about stuff. That's why.
Oh, I think
I'm just asking.
I think they could play some of those consolation brackets.
Because why? Because if you're not Jarvis and you're on the bottom half of the bracket, you play Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, if you had another gym and everybody could go Monday, then you could go Wednesday.
Well,
and you get your day to practice.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what?
why. I mean, if you need a why.
I don't need a why. It's fact.
You ask why.
The fact of the matter is this. I mean, they're going to do it the way they want to. When I was in school, we had to play in 4 straight nights.
Right.
4 nights in a row. Bam, bam. They didn't have the day off in between.
Right.
They didn't even have the girls' tournament at that point.
Yeah.
They might have. It might have been the first year they did it, and it didn't matter. You still had to do it. If you're doing that, you'd play all the loser bracket side over there. If you're going to do it, that's the only way. But the reason that I loved playing there, I liked going to that gym. I liked playing on that court, the atmosphere, the field house, the way it's set up. And I really liked beating Park Hills on their home court, which is really tough to do.
Yes, it is.
Just is. Mm-hmm. So the winner of your game, hopefully you, hey, that's a tough game. It just is. It just seems like you might play 6-on-5 at times. The crowd's always there. Then that's like another player.
I'm zipping it up right now.
Wait, I'm talking about the crowd. Uh-huh. You get another player. I mean, when they sit behind that backboard and they're hooting and hollering while your kids are shooting free throws, it's a big deal.
I'm sure that's who you were talking about.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Who did you think I was talking about?
The kids.
The kids. They're like the 12th man, like Seattle Seahawks.
You were talking about the fans.
That's exactly right. Your camera's still on you.
But you know, you get to coach in your first game against again Dan Johnson. So one of your good buddies.
Well,
so
I'm trying to decipher how many times that we've done this down there.
Yeah, I know.
I played them last year, Hillsboro, and I played them Brewers year, and they dunked on us like 5 times.
Yeah.
And I think I played them another year down there, so this might be the 3rd or 4th time we've faced off at the tournament, and I have still yet to beat them.
Steelville looks like Steelville's beating West County after 3, 48-42 tonight.
Yeah, that's a. I figured, I thought maybe this was a little early for the seed meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we could have had it on Saturday.
Well, I mean, they probably want to get stuff out there, get stuff printed, and have everything set up. At the end of the day,
Now,
you gotta win the game. So
I don't know, because obviously, not being around the Christmas time, are they going to televise it? And if so, is it
it's going to cost?
Is it going to cost?
Probably through Misha TV, isn't it?
Forget what they said.
They talked about it down there.
Yeah, it's going to be a pay-per-view thing. Yep.
Wow.
Well, you know what? Hey, but you know what isn't pay-per-view?
Mm-hmm.
This damn show.
Yeah.
And any broadcast we do, and Jim's show tomorrow, you don't have to pay a damn dime for it.
Here's the thing.
Not one dime down.
And I don't know if Park Hills is getting money, whatever. But, I mean, a lot of teams they're all putting their games on YouTube now. I mean, it's free. I mean,
For free.
Yeah,
it's not like you could put that out on YouTube or you could put that out on a stream, and it's not like 16 teams aren't still going to go and fill the bowl. They're going to go fill that stadium, and it's going to be standing room only.
Yeah, it's going to be packed.
I mean, you might get like an 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. game that might not, but throughout the day, people are going to go and they're going to stay.
10, but yeah,
Well, and the thing is people are going to go to the game. I mean, parents, as long as they're parents, grandparents, friends, whoever, fans of the sport. Hell, my dad will probably be there, and he has no horse in the race or anything. It's just people are going to go to those games.
I mean, we get beat, knocked out of the tournament. I'll possibly still probably go to a few games.
It also has a hospitality room.
Yes, it does.
Solid.
And I get free admission because I'm in the tournament.
There you go. Yeah. See, pass list and everything.
Yeah.
Win-win.
And so the girls' 37th of that tournament seeding came out, and looks like
they're 37 years.
37, really?
37.
I don't even remember the girls playing it.
Lady Rebels Christmas tournament.
Probably played on a different day.
So
maybe
number 1 seed South Iron.
I could see
the number
that.
2 Park Hills, 3 Potosi, 4 Steelville, 5 Festus, 6 Fredericktown, 7 St. John, and 8 Arcadia Valley.
So that's really interesting that Park Hills didn't get the one on the girls' side. Their only loss was to Ozark,
which is
Ozark
loaded.
But
down in Ozark.
But Ozark, yeah, they went all the way down to Springfield to play them. Ozark was only like 2-3 going into that game.
They looked really, really, really good.
Well, when you have like all the kids to pick from. Wow. And you have a Class 6 school.
And it's, you could be 2 and 3 down there. It's Southwest basketball.
Southwest basketball is legit. I like to remind people that.
That was a kind of a shock to me. I was kind of shocked to see that South Iron was one over the Central.
Well, South Iron also jumped in the state rankings this week.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, too.
All 2 people that voted?
No, there was more people than 2 that voted.
Okay.
Well, I would have voted if he would have added in the email.
I'm pretty sure that I said, hey, you don't check your email throughout the day, Jason?
I'm like, my message back said I'm a public educator.
Oh my gosh.
You're educating.
What do you do during lunch? You sit there and teach during lunch?
Time out.
A lot of times I have a working lunch.
Hey, he forgot. Public school, you get about 15 minutes, and since COVID, you probably have the kids in the classroom
Dude,
with
it
you
is
still.
a fast.
Or you have
or
you have to work through in the cafeteria.
Dude, 20 minutes to eat, dude, and it's like.
We're used to the hour lunch over here at St. Pius X. So if you care about your education and lunchtime, go ahead and apply now.
You want to talk to your teachers? You got time. You want to take your time eating? You've got time. I should do a commercial.
You want to call it like I see it. Go to a good public school. It's free. For free. For free. Just like this program. Because this education here at the Pius X, not free. Not free.
Tuition assistance. We got it.
I'm sure you do, but there's no recruiting.
There's not.
You just recruited by saying that.
No, we did. We're trying to
That is so. Yes, it is.
Financial
We have
assistance.
financial assistance for all you basketball players.
Whoa, that's undue influence. I know all about it
I'm sure you do.
He knows all about it.
because you don't
this
say.
job 10 for you or something?
Same as yours.
It is job 7, baby.
Jeez, man.
Speaking of jobs. We got old Neon Dion Primetime.
Yeah,
Neon Dion Primetime getting a new job.
What's he doing?
Going over to the
Bringing his
Buffaloes.
luggage.
Bringing his luggage. Going to
I'm
Colorado.
coming. I'm
He's
coming.
Yep.
I'm coming.
Hey, there is a lot of controversy surrounding Neon Dion Primetime going to Colorado. And my only question is, if you're the SEC, why didn't you pull the trigger, Auburn or anybody else that needed a new coach, and why would you not pick up Primetime?
Mm-hmm. Well, because Primetime doesn't look the part of a normal SEC football coach with a little visor and whatever. Primetime, Deion Sanders is going to be Deion Sanders. He doesn't care about the looks, or they didn't think he's going to coach kids. He's going to do it the way he wants to do it, and it might not be the way that the SEC wants him to do it to promote the product. He doesn't really care, and I liked it. I liked his speech because he basically put all those kids on notice.
You might want to hop in the portal.
The transfer portal. Like this is for you. And I will say this though, when he talked about the hoodies and the hats and the TV, and did you see the one where that one kid just took his hat off right in the meeting? It's like he wants to play for Prime. There you go, right there. I love it.
But you talk about instant credibility. Look at Colorado going 1-11 this year. I mean, in the Pac-12 and all
they
that.
had to make a statement if you were 1-11.
Yeah. I mean, just right away.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Right away, whether it was Jackson State, not only instant credibility, but you put the school on the map. Has anybody been talking about any other bowls? Or are they talking about Colorado football right now?
That's it.
That's it.
I didn't even know there was any bowls.
Hey, you know what I mean? There's
Did
coming
they
up.
get rid of him?
Did they get rid of the bowls?
What's Mizzou in?
They're in a bowl.
I will say.
Maxi Pad Bowl?
Oh, my God. He just not say that. So I was watching. Well, let me rephrase this.
Whoa.
I was thumbing through TikTok, and I come through.
He just told on himself.
I don't care.
I got caught in the scroll. I can't. I just wasted
down the rabbit hole.
And rest in peace, but it was a thing on Mike Leach.
Yeah.
And it was about the playoff system. And this thing was perfect. He went on when he got hired into the SEC as an SEC coach, and he went, well, you could probably call any local club football team, and they could probably tell you how to set up a playoff system. You could go from there, and you could go to the high school level, and they have a playoff system with more than 4 teams. And then you could go to Division 3, and he just went and named every level of football. And they know how to do it, and they know how to. So why can't? Oh, we're above them. We are the elite college. I mean, it was such a great thing. You'll have to. Hopefully, you'll see it. Sad day though for football, right there, man. That dude.
Talk about innovator, part of the air raid system. I mean, going back.
You
to
don't have
89
Patrick Mahomes doing what he's doing at Kansas City if it isn't for that man. Mm-hmm. And very sad day for football. Very innovative mind.
Mm-hmm. You talk about changing the game. Creates basically a new form of football. You go all the way back. When it was started right after the Civil War and all of that, and then you go into all the different looks. Wing tee, single, all that.
If you're an
flex.
offensive guy, you can't help to like that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And what a shame! What a shame he died too early. Mm-hmm. And but what a great football mind.
Well, just think about. I don't know if you all remember when Texas Tech, when they were making their run, and Crabtree was, a big deal, and who they think they beat Texas. Didn't they? And that was like a big build game. it was just awesome. That's when you know, for me, that's when I realized that, like, this guy can coach a little bit. And I'll tell you what, not only is he an innovator with the game itself, he is the master of sound bites.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, his sound bites are like you. That's a perfect example of it. But you know what? And there was a tweet, and I was just looking for it too, that someone put. In a world where people try to conform and be PC, like Mike Leach is genuine. Mm-hmm. I mean, he should always be remembered for just being Mike Leach. He's just, it was just, I just loved his personality. Mm-hmm. I mean, people didn't like him because, you know, for this, that, or whatever, didn't like the way he coached. His kids loved him, and they played hard. He's won everywhere. I mean, he was, 16 for the last 18 years in bowls?
Yeah, I mean, Washington,
everywhere
he went, he's won.
Yeah, and, you know, it is sad. It's a real sad day.
Yeah, it is very much.
I think I don't know. Maybe it's just the drinking the Kool-Aid, but I think Deion's going to basically turn that program around to Colorado too. And
I hate to say it, I do too. I mean,
with
the dude can recruit, and he's going to get, and people want to play for him.
Why would you not want to play for
I mean, you
the
look
guy?
at the kid that went to St. Mary's and that went to Jackson State. Where's he going? Colorado. You see all the guys that are going with him?
I'm coming.
Yeah. I'm bringing my luggage. I mean, do you see them some of those dudes at that meeting were like,
you see some of them, they don't even look like football players. It's like, what are these nerds doing in here? Like, you gotta go, son. Deion's probably walking in there like, holy, this is my team? Yeah. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Hey, transfer portal.
Well, hey,
time to go.
You're talking about Mizzou, you know, going to a bowl. There's tons of dual threat QBs that are jumped in that portal, and Bama's got at least 10 guys that have jumped in that portal.
I know.
They're about to get some more coming back.
What's going on with that? Is it just because they're not getting to play at Bama?
No, because I'm a 5-star and I'm only on special teams. Mm-hmm. You know, because we live in a world where I want my instant gratification now. I don't, you know, and they don't realize that you're going to have 1,000+ people jump in this portal, and you might only have, I don't know, 1/10 of that go somewhere.
I have my head on my microphone because I just had this conversation with my coaches the other day.
Yeah.
It's just people in general cannot handle sometimes their role. Not everyone gets to freaking start. Not everyone.
Hold on. Is this stage? Echo.
Yeah, I know.
Echo.
Not everyone gets to start. Not everyone gets to finish. Not everyone is the first guy off the bench. Not everyone is the last guy off the bench. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this, and people don't want to be like play defense and rebound for me. I don't care if you ever shoot the basketball, and it's hard to find a kid that is willing to do that.
No,
anymore.
you're wrong.
But why? But why is that so hard?
Because it's about me.
It's about because playing defense doesn't get your name in the lights.
It's not about me.
But it wins you games.
Exactly.
I mean,
sure does.
You know, we won last night 64-60 down at Kingston. We won that game because of our defense. It had nothing to do with our offense. I mean, it helped that Gabe scored quite a few. But, I mean,
he's okay.
It goes back to our defense. And it's hard. It's hard. I mean, this has taken me several years to get these kids to buy into what me and Coach Buddy and now Coach Cheney is selling. So,
why? And you don't have to put any individual on blast, but why? Give me the why on it's so difficult for buy-in right now.
Well, I think it takes.
Well, you want the why?
And it doesn't necessarily. You don't have to single your program out.
The why is right here in our hands every day.
Agreed. But it just takes one kid to buy in and to get his teammates to follow him or her. But I think the problem is nobody wants to be that leader.
No.
Nobody wants to step out on a limb and say, you know what? I want you to follow me, and I want to take the lead,
Well, and
I want to go, and you got to come with me.
It's hard to find a kid like. God, I'll use him. His dad ain't gonna get mad at me. Jackson Darian's a perfect example on my team. He's star quarterback in football, right? Mm-hmm. Basketball, he's not. You know, he's not the go-to guy. He's not the guy that has to score 20 points is not. But that kid is one of those kids that plays on my team that makes our team go the way it does just because of the things he does. And I don't really think Jackson gives a rip how many points he scored last night. I think he had maybe 4. I don't even remember. But I know that he didn't care. I mean, you should have seen him after we won the game. That's how excited he was. And it's hard to find kids to buy that role. And we've been lucky with this group that we have right now at Herky, and to try to get these younger kids to see what they're doing. And you know, I mean, I don't know. You know, there's a couple kids that, you know, you may only get in a couple minutes in a game. But I had a couple kids come in last night that only played maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But that 2 or 3 minutes was we were in foul trouble, and it was valuable that they came in and we stayed within what we were at that time. And I had like 3 or 4 guys that had two or more fouls. And it's hard to get kids to accept those roles. And especially kids expect to play on varsity as freshmen. Where the hell did that start happening?
What about
not everyone as a freshman is good enough to start on
probably
varsity
because
or play varsity.
Probably because you go back to AAU and select, and the fact that, hey, if I don't like where I'm at now, then I just jump ship and I get on a new team. I start my own team. I do this.
And to go back to the original thing about the transfer portal and why guys don't want to play when you're at Alabama. I mean, hell, if I would have been lucky enough to go to somewhere like that to play a sport, I'd be happy as hell if I was the damn water boy.
The thing is, you could be at Alabama and be that 4th-string running back, and then you start your senior year and you get an NFL contract and you have you have 0 miles on you.
Yeah, and that's what if you're talking about the plus side, the upside. I mean, think about Burrows. Burrows didn't get a chance, but at the same time, he had to kind of wait, and then boom, he was a 1 year kind of hit big. But
for every one of Burrows,
right,
there's how many of the kid who's now on his 4th. The guy that's leaving West Virginia, you know, the guy that was at Georgia and then he was at USC.
Yeah, he's like a 26-year-old whatever.
Now he's at West Virginia. Now he's moving to his 4th school.
But you talk about the guys who didn't, and they're just here. I mean, you're learning. For me, I mean, at the end of the day, you're as good as what you maximize your talent out as. What doesn't matter what sport it is. I mean, you put in work. You have to do your part to match what the good Lord gave you, and that's kind of how it works. So these guys who don't understand that process or don't understand adversity, they're the ones who struggle because it's not coming easy. They either had the lawnmower parents or they did the thing like you just said with AAU, or they're jumping to the transfer portal instead of just saying, you know what, I'm just going to get better, and I'm going to beat you out. And then, you know, a lot of it has to do with, you know, like what you just said, Riley. Guys don't want to. Guys, they don't want to take those roles. They're not used to having to deal with adversity, confrontation. Again, why? Because someone moved it out of the way for them. You know, here, you don't have to worry about this. And then we have kids who don't understand how to have that social interaction.
Right.
It's like anytime anytime a kid wants to talk about playing time, I invite the conversation with them. And the reason is I want them to advocate for themselves, and then we can have a conversation. Why do you think you need to play more? What do you do? And honestly, it's not because I want to put them in their place. I want them to tell me what they really are thinking, so that way I can understand where they're coming from, and then I can try to get them to understand where I'm coming from, and it allows for a real conversation. But for anybody to ever say, and I don't care if you play for me and you're sitting on the bench, don't ask Zach, don't ask one of the other coaches, don't ask anybody why you're not playing. Ask me, I'll tell you why. And that's the problem. We don't have kids who want to do that. They don't want to take those steps.
Well, they've never had to do it. Everyone else does it for them.
Yeah.
Well, but is it? Go ahead.
Or do they have anybody to compete against them? And then that's another thing. There's no competition amongst each other to force each other. Hey, I'm going to take your spot, bud. Hey, no, you're not. Yes, I am. Well, let's go. Show me.
Have they ever been told no?
Well, that's true.
That's another thing, right? If you're these elite guys, right? You're these 4-star, 5-star.
You can be a negative star.
Not even those. I've seen freshmen in high school, who have been in my program, and for the first time they're told, "Well, hey, you're not good enough to start on the JV yet. You're on the freshman team, and then I've never seen him again. So, I mean, it's not even just 3, 4, 5-star. It's your guy that started all his career, and then comes up to high school and thinks, well, man, I was scoring 25 down here at junior high. Well, this ain't. Junior high is not the same as.
But I'm scoring 25 on the Z bracket of AAU.
Yeah,
the same thing goes though. I mean, there's not a lot of kids who can just be plugged in as freshmen.
Not on the guy's side.
Not on the guy's side,
No.
because the development between a freshman and a senior is so
crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, good gosh, man. They're not even physically mature, and they sure as hell aren't mentally mature.
Different human beings.
Yeah.
Now you do have.
There's exceptions.
There's those exceptions. You have that kid that you're like. I remember.
But is he really a freshman? Because I would go back to
I am
you look
12.
at that. Did you see that story about that kid with the 12-year-old football statue, that meme? But no, but you go back to you can be let's use Kobe, let's use Klaus for a little bit here. I bet he probably played, by the time he entered into high school, more ball games than anybody else that you had on your team combined.
And he was playing up. He
was not playing with his kids his own age. He was playing with those 17 and 18 year
And
olds.
he had more games under his belt.
Yes.
So so
he understood how to play. And there are exceptions, but physically, Kobe did struggle because it was a different game.
Did that attribute to 2 ACL tears playing that much basketball?
Maybe.
I could argue that.
I mean,
argue it both ways.
Well, that and not getting in the weight room. I mean, let's be honest. But that goes into the NFL. So you say this now with Kyler Murray going down. So what is this fine
Too many
line?
video games.
Too many video. Yeah, Call of Duty. Came out,
sorry,
right?
poor Colt McCoy looked bad.
Well,
But
he's so old.
Yeah, but
I can't believe
what is it? So
the
is
best
it
backup they could get?
I got some comments I would say, but anyway, there's some people out there if they want to go pick them up. But anyway,
That guy.
yeah, that guy.
No,
but anyway, I mean, you talk about, is it lifting too much? Is it not lifting enough? I don't. There's got to be this line, because if you go back in the 80s, even in the early 90s, people were lifting. They weren't lifting like they were today. But I don't remember all of these injuries, these ACLs, these non-contacts.
Tell that to Gail Sayers.
Okay, that's one. I mean, it's every week you hear about non-contact injuries. But what I'm saying is it the lifting? Is it not? Because you just said, well, hey, Kobe, or so and so, they're playing too much, but they're not getting in the weight room. Versus, hey, I'm a NFL guy that all I do is hone my body to be this specimen, this athletic specimen, and then boom, non-contact injury, I'm out. And don't tell me it's the turf.
He's got his hand up.
Mr. McVey, can I answer this one?
Put your cell phone away.
Oh,
No,
wow.
in McVey's class, I can keep it out.
Oh, that's right. We're at McVay's
You
class.
shut your mouth.
So, I think specialization.
Autonomy.
I think specialization has a lot to do with it too, because there's a lot of these guys who they've only played one sport. Yep. Kobe only played one sport. There's a lot of guys who aren't used to using other muscles and doing different movements. And if you're not used to doing that, you can say all you want about lifting too much, and I'm not going to argue that. I mean, the human body is great with adaptation. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really good with adaptation. And I think there's a point where you are doing too much as far as that kind of workload, anatomically speaking. But I do think that at the same time, if you're not using those muscles and you're not performing those movements, there's going to be a time where you're going to be doing something, let's just say like a juke. A lot of times you're trying to sidestep and it's a non-contact thing. You're making you might not be practicing that move, or you're doing something you're not used to practicing,
well,
and it's a wrong step.
Maybe he would have been on grass and he wouldn't have tore it.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL's now saying it's all about the turf. Zach, you look a little dismayed. Why don't you give us an insight there? Go ahead.
But I had a doctor. I had a doctor tell me. So he took my son a year and a half ago to an orthopedic. Thought he had maybe an ACL tear, and it wasn't really an ACL tear. But I asked the doctor. I said, "Hey, I'm in school. I've been in doing this for a long time, and like back when I played, you never heard about ACL tears. Very few and far between. Now there's so much more. I said, do you think there's a common theme of why that's happening? And he basically told me, he said, well, one of two things. You see it a ton more in females.
Well, yeah.
And he said the reason why you see it more in females is because of the structure of the hips. He said the hips, the way they're structured, is causing pressure to be put on the knees, which puts a lot more pressure on your knees, which causes a lot of ACL tears. He said, now, in the male fixture of it, he said what is struggling is their bone structure in their hips aren't as strong for kids. So you see a lot of smaller males who have ACL tears because of their hip structures aren't as strong.
Really?
He said it's a complete opposite on a female compared to a male. And I was like completely shocked at that. Like, I never really even thought about that. But he said the way the hip structures are in today compared to what they were 10 years ago, you never really focused on your hips in a lot of weight lifts and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting that a doctor said that's what's kind of their research is showing, that a lot of the hip structure is causing some knee issues.
Role players to blah blah to knee.
It's
We're all over the
spider
place.
web,
I
man.
love it.
But you know what? I mean,
Spiderweb.
this is good stuff because I think it has a lot to do with the same thing, like role playing.
So let me get this straight. You're saying that hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie.
Okay.
I'll tell you this,
Shakira's
man.
hips don't lie.
That's what the doctor said.
When I got down there to Kingston yesterday for that game, and we got really early because I thought it was at 5:30. But anyway, that's another story. I get there and I'm looking at some of their kids. I'm like, holy crap!
That's the word you used.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. I'm sure it was. I was in a school. So.
As he brings beer into a school, right?
Well, that's allowed here at
private
school. Public school, I wouldn't be bringing that. So, anyway, I looked at them, and, man, that weight program there, Paul's done a good job getting those kids to buy in, man.
Yes.
Those kids they're built.
Well, I mean, that's...
And it's helped them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and for anybody that's why I love when people want to argue about lifting too much or lifting on game day, and I'm just like, just shut up. Okay, I mean, let's face it. Here's the thing: and this is coming from where I grew up, where you had to do manual labor for your chores. I mean, it's one thing to go and haul hay all day, or stack feed, or cut firewood all the time, and then turn around and go lift. There's a thing, it's for real. It's called country strong. And if you're country strong, it's a little different than being somebody who's not.
Well, one of the best linebackers I ever coached over at Crystal, DJ Sullivan, he cut like 50 yards when he was in high school, probably. And, dude, we get done with practice in August and September and October when he's still having to cut. He get done with practice in school all day and then go cut 10 yards. Cut till it was pitch black, and then he cut all weekend. That dude was always was one of the best in the weight room, one of the best, did everything.
But for guys who just don't do anything, and they just or they don't lift very much or hardly at all.
But we talk about it goes back to unrealistic expectations, right?
Who, theirs?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You could even go back to, again, circling back to the idea of the kids and AAU and select and yada yada yada. You've got to have realistic expectations,
right?
And I think that does not exist anymore. So, but. Well, Chris, why don't we go ahead and take a quick break, and then when we
got to
come
make
back,
it quick.
We'll talk some more stuff here.
All right. Well,
we'll be about ready to sign off, won't we?
Pretty soon.
All right. You're watching the Coach's Box. We'll be right back.
You aren't looking for a cookie cutter experience with your agent. You are looking for someone who is going to go above and beyond or think outside the box. You are looking for someone who is going to be there for you no matter what, and someone who is going to walk you through the entire process. My name is Callie Kaufman. with Gateway Real Estate, and my passion is the people I work with. Real estate is personal. A home is not just the four walls, it's the people who live there and the memories you share. That's why I focus on the people I serve and make them a top priority throughout the entire process. I'm there for you. No matter what your budget is, no matter where you are, and no matter how long it takes, I will be there with you every step of the way. If you are looking for an agent who cares about you and will do everything to make sure you are taken care of, give me a call. 314-221-6090.
Got a big appetite? Join us at Case and Bucks in Barnhart for all-you-can-eat soup and salad every day of the week. All-you-can-eat Mexican on Mondays. Kids eat free on Tuesdays. All-you-can-eat pasta on Wednesdays. All-you-can-eat meatloaf on Thursdays. And all-you-can-eat fish and shrimp on Fridays. Enjoy our Feed the Crew special on Saturdays, which offers a large one-topping pizza, a pound of wings, toasted wraps, and a large salad, only $29.99. Like our Facebook page and see our full menu at caseandbucksbarnhart.com.
I'm kind of a social media nerd. I'm also kind of a burglar. The couple that lives here posted online that they're out of town, so I'm turning su casa into mi casa. And if you share every detail of your life on social media, this could be you. So get Allstate, where agents keep you protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
All right, well, good evening and welcome back to another episode of the Coach's Box.
How about
We are
another
in segment 3 here. Yeah, shut up over there. You know. Did you ask me to bring it back or did you just bring it back? Well, you shut your mouth over there.
Know your role.
That's right,
And
dang
you
it.
shut your mouth.
That's right.
That's how it goes.
That's the old. Hey, you talk about iconic
see, there he
stuff.
goes.
They don't do wrestling like that anymore.
No, they don't.
Man.
I know, right?
You
That'd be
know?
some fun days back in the
Oh
day.
man, those were
Monday nights.
those were good. Hey,
Still not
you need,
nothing
hey,
like it is now.
this is not for an on-air segment, but you're talking about Deering. You need to go ask when the WW, I think it was WWF back in the day, came to St. Louis. Old Deering and some of the crew went up there, and you could talk to him about it. Oh yeah, I remember that.
I saw a
remember that.
picture of him and Boa with the sign.
I've heard that story. That was
like,
awesome.
oh
We
my.
walked the next day of school. So back when you used to roll the cart out, and we were like, it's movie day.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh man, did you guys watch it? Somebody had taped it, and that's all we did. That's all we did in some classes. We were like, we gotta watch it. We gotta watch it. It was good.
I got that sent to me not a couple of years ago. What was that all about? I don't know, but I got a picture of those two.
Oh, it's good.
That
It
was
was
funny.
good.
I
It
remember
was
seeing
all
that.
right.
I mean,
They don't make that. They don't make movies like they used to, whether it's sport movies, whether it's kid. I mean, it's Christmas time. It's Home Alone. It's not Die Hard, even though you think it's Die Hard.
Die Hard
Hard's
is a Christmas movie.
4 Christmases.
That's another funny one, right?
Oh, it's great.
Why they
Christmas
don't make it
Vacation.
like they used to? Yes.
Yes. Elf is a good one.
Elf's good.
Elf's good.
Christmas,
But Christmas
Vacation
Vacation
is
Dude, he's
top
the best.
notch.
He's
Oh
the
my
best.
gosh, yes.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
No, it
God,
is
no, it's
not.
not.
It is. There's
Yeah.
Christmas movie. Christmas music is playing all throughout. It's
Oh, my
set at
God.
Christmas
I mean,
time.
I like Bruce Willis too, but
it was
because
great
you look
movie.
like him doesn't mean you gotta like him.
He looks more like him in the hair.
Oh,
Whoa,
wow,
dude! It is like there's not there's not much there.
Is that why you stopped wearing a hat? You're just leaning into the curve now?
Letting her go, buddy. Letting her go.
This guy over
Speaking
here.
of letting it go, the Giants let go of a lot of money.
Holy
moly! 13 years.
What?
Wow.
Segue.
He's gonna be like 40.
So Carlos
Something.
Correa got a
Pujols should have been in the same boat, but anyway. That's
well. It worked out, I guess.
It worked out.
I guess
For him.
Just signed a 13-year deal. How much was it worth?
330 was it?
No, it was
330 over 13.
Something like that.
13 years. Now this is it doesn't have a depreciation as it goes along.
Well, it's got
the
no
same
trade.
amount.
It's got all this.
all the way through. There's no opt out, is there?
No. I didn't see it. I think it said no.
I guess he decided he wanted to be a Giant forever.
Wow.
Money talks.
I mean, good night.
It sure
Money
does.
talks. That's kind of like Crash Davis's. Did you see that meme on his deferred payment for the next umpteen years?
Yep.
$42 million. He hadn't even been playing.
Yeah.
He might have had a better deal than Bobby Bo.
Oh, yeah.
Bonilla.
Bobby
Well, that's
Bonilla's
because-
deal's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we're talking about inflation money back then to now. It's,
Hey,
I don't know
when
if it's
I saw
comparable.
that, I was like, "Well, I guess Mosaic is smarter than what I thought."
And
All-
King Griffey. Hey, King
whoa,
King
don't
Griffey
even
was
go
like
there.
Cincinnati's 5th highest paid player last year, and he's been retired.
That's kind of crazy.
Jarvis, I cannot believe that just came out of your mouth. Holy smokes.
It's the Christmas bow tie magic or something. I don't know.
13 years.
I will never let you hear the end of that.
So what? Like
I don't
fall
care.
forward?
All I was saying was, I mean, you want the Cardinals to spend that on one guy?
Well, here's what happened though. I mean, Correa just Kevin said it in our group message. It just destroyed any chances of us signing Dansby Swanson.
Oh, yeah.
There's no. You're out. There's no
He's
way.
going to go to Chicago.
Chicago.
I
He's gonna be a
don't
cut.
want Swanson.
He's going to be a cut.
You don't think so?
You don't want a guy who's solid and plays 162 games.
I'm just not a Swanson.
Who's won a
fan.
World Series,
won a World
and
Series.
who's a leader,
I would agree with that.
former number 1 draft
Number one pick.
won at college, won in the pros.
Yeah, I mean he's a winner. That's what winners do. They win, Jason.
Proven.
They just win, and he plays. He ain't like one of those losers who gets hurt.
That's
and
the pitching
they're like,
staff.
Wait, no,
That's
pitching.
the pitching.
What does Tyler O'Neill pitch?
That's
Okay,
true.
that's
No.
what I thought. Does
I mean,
Dylan
if I-
Carlson
if-
pitch?
if I
Bro.
That's what I thought.
I wanted Bogarts is who I want.
Well, then
been great.
again, he helped kill the market as well.
No.
Both those two signings, and
Have we
Dansby
done
Swanson's about ready to get.
Oh, man.
Have we done enough? The Cardinals?
Yeah.
No.
What do we do?
Got the Contreras. Got
Oh,
a
that's
catcher.
we got one guy.
That's all we're doing.
That's it. I think we're set.
They had that graphic, and it had the pitching staff, and it was Michaelis and Wainwright and Flaherty, and I'm obviously getting the order mixed up, and then Matz, and then Montgomery, and then Hudson. And the comments were hilarious. Somebody said that looks like a great 84 win team right there.
Well, 84 wins is better than what some of the teams in
That's good
baseball-
enough to win the Central, right? Because
Who's
that's what
pitching
we
the
want to
game?
do.
Who's pitching game 1 of the wild card? That's
You got to
what
get to the
wanna
wild card
I was gonna
first.
say.
Which
See,
wild
that-
card is
was
it?
it? Was it Kevin? So was it somebody in the group or somebody said we've got to quit looking at the Central as our competition and we've
Yeah,
got to start
that's good.
looking at L.A. and
Yankees,
the San Diego. You got to not that
Braves.
we have to go have a $500 million payroll or whatever, but at some point you have got to get the big names in, because who did you get? You got Jimmy Edmonds to come over. You got Scott Rowland to come
Trade.
over. You got
Trade.
Mark McGuire to come over.
Trade.
But I'm just saying, you're getting those guys.
This was said on 101 ESPN. When's the last time a big free agent was signed in St. Louis?
I don't know.
They can't even think of one.
Was Holiday a trade?
He was a trade. Everybody was a trade. Ozzie Smith was a trade. Yep. I'm telling you, they have never in my lifetime for sure, and you can go back to the 70s, they have never went and said, hey, you're one of the best you're one of the top 5, you're one of the top 10 players in baseball, you're going to come here and play, and you're a free agent. It doesn't happen. And hey, and the Cardinals were proponents to start free agency.
I was going to say,
Kurt
Flood.
Yes.
Flood.
So how ironic that they have not went out and signed a free agent.
I get it that you don't want to handcuff yourself to another elite contract or
it's all bad
Fowler,
money.
or Fowler. But because
it's all bad money.
But it's because you want 8, 9, 10 year type contracts instead of saying, just hear me out. Instead of saying, hey, I'll give you 3, but I'll give you, instead of you're wanting 10 for 20,
they're not going to do it.
I'll give you 30.
But here's the problem, because there's going to be a team like the Giants. There's going to be a team like San Diego who are going to say, dude, we'll give you 8, and there's the money. They want the security. Right. The thing about baseball contracts, they're guaranteed. It's not like the NFL. Right. You sign a big deal in the NFL, and you can get cut next year, and all it is a little cap hit.
Well, they talked about Mahomes' contract and how I think it's like 45, and then what he actually, his gross versus his net, and you talk about being taxed and all of that, but plus all of the other fees that he has. I mean, it's,
Oh, yeah. You want me to feel sorry for him and the money he loses on taxes?
No, I'm just talking about how when you talk about guaranteed money versus the NFL versus what the NFL has and how everything is broken down.
But the NFL is like the only one of the major sports, the 4 major sports who don't have guaranteed contracts, and their players have the shortest shelf life. But for baseball players, I get what you're saying. You could sign give them more money and give them less years. Bad money's bad money. We over the break, what we just saying, or just even before this, all the deferred money, everything that every single year that teams are paying to guys who don't even play there anymore. You're still gonna pay that money, so you might as well go ahead and go and try to win now, because then you get the money for being in the playoffs longer.
Yes.
Right? And you're selling more tickets. You're making the money back
now.
You're not ever going to make it all back. You own a Major League Baseball team. You shouldn't be in it just to make the profit, because you're not going to. No. The fact is, you're going to spend the money if you want to win. Look at the Padres, and I'll finish with this. The Padres used to be a small market, low. I mean, it was like Oakland, San Diego. Right.
But you look at the town. The town has exploded. I mean, you look at St. Louis. St. Louis was one of the top 30 most populated cities in the country, and it's not even close now. But San Diego.
You know why?
Well, people have moved out. I mean,
Why would they?
Huh?
Why would they?
Well, businesses are leaving. But anyway.
Not crime.
No. But no, go back, talking about your argument, you're not a billionaire because you made money off of a sports team. That is your hobby. Mm-hmm. You're a billionaire because you're into oil, or you're into,
Twitter.
other type of
Still
products.
Lost to West County.
Whoa.
West County came back, huh?
That's what Brian Deering posted.
Wow.
Still loses to West County.
That's crazy.
Where was the game at?
West County. It was on the radio.
No comment?
Tough place to play.
Very.
Very tough place to play.
I remember one time one of my kids went up for a layup, came off the court bleeding profusely from his eye. No foul.
You remember playing in their old gym? The one that.
Oh my God! Where was I at? Kingston. I had to coach there or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting place. Now it's Hedge Court's the academy. It's kind of cool. They bought the gym.
It is cool.
No, it's interesting. But I don't know. I think that it's for the Cardinals. I don't think they're going to go out and get anybody else. They're not going to sign a big free agent. I don't think they're going to. I don't even think they're remotely close to signing Carlson. And here's the thing: we are stuck in mediocrity as all these other teams. You have to be able to draft well. You have to be able to evaluate talent and scout, and you have to do all those things. But to separate yourself from the middle of the pack, from the guys who just barely get in the playoffs, you have to say, okay, here's the checkbook. What do you want? And we're going to give it to you. And you got to do that with about 3 guys, and not just trade and get guys, because when you do that, you're giving away assets that might potentially be players. Sandy Alcantara just won the Cy Young, and who did he play for? Oh, he played for us, so we had to give him away.
Four.
Where's that guy at?
Did he get arrested?
No, domestic disturbance or something.
He's still playing.
Well, yeah, suspended.
Still
I
on
think.
the roster.
Hey, he won a world championship, but not with us. So you had to give him up. You didn't even get to keep him. You might as well just sign these guys to long-term deals and said, screw it, let's go. But if you're not going to go and do that with about 2, 3, 4 guys and spend some money, you're not separating yourself from the pack.
2 pitchers and 2 position players. You've got to do that.
No, pitchers, dime a dozen. They're all going to get hurt anyway. I wouldn't spend a bunch of money on a pitcher. Not
Max Scherzer is a dime a dozen.
Okay,
Justin Verlander is a dime a dozen.
Yeah, and
come on now.
What era did they grow? What era did they hit their mark in? Not in this four inning pitching bull crap. Okay, they're going to pitch 7. They're going to go 8. If you give me that guy, I'll pay the money. But if you're going to go 4 1/3, and you throw 100 pitches, you suck. You freaking suck, okay? Flaherty, if he can't go more than that, he sucks
He's
too.
not going to.
That's my point.
So did you want Rondon?
Is he going to go 7?
Nobody's going 7 anymore.
But Scherzer will.
Yes, there is.
Verlander will.
You're using your own argument against yourself now
against
because you said a different era type guys.
They are, but they're the leftovers. They're 40-some-odd years old.
That I know, but you're not going to have 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds.
I won't spend the money
7.
on those other guys. If you give me Scherzer, if you give me Verlander, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to spend the money on them because I know what I'm going to get.
We could have gotten them. We could have got Scherzer years ago.
We're not. Yeah, don't even start with that.
Well, no, we lost out, just like we lost out on the guy to Boston. What's his
Stanton,
name?
all those
Pierce,
guys.
Or not Pierce, Price. We lost Price. We came in second, guys.
Well, that's probably a blessing in disguise.
We came in second again. Oh, Stanton didn't want to come here. Mo, with my bow tie, you suck.
If pitchers ain't going to go, if they're not going to go 7 innings, I ain't going to give them a bunch of money.
It's not the pitcher's fault. It's not their fault.
When you got 100 pitches, when you throw 100
Snell,
pitches,
it was his fault that he got taken out of the World Series.
You're talking one particular thing.
No,
That's happening a lot.
That's the point, Chris. That's the point. It's not the player's fault when he's at his limit, he's at his pitch count, and we have to go because because it's the analytics, it's the GM, it's the this.
I ain't spending money on a pitcher. I ain't spending that money on a pitcher.
Analytics, my friend.
You're not spending money on analytics either.
Nope. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go get a guy who can hit for average and crush the ball.
Who's that guy?
Dig the long ball,
who's
baby.
That guy that hits average?
What?
Who's the guy that hits average?
I think Dansby Swanson might hit for average.
What's average? Are we saying 260 now?
300. I want a 300
Okay,
hitter.
all 10 guys. I bet it's less than 15 guys.
I'm going to go get them. We're going to give them the money. That's what I want to give.
There's not very many out there.
I bet you
that number goes up now that the shift is gone.
Yeah, you got to hit the ball. Got to put the ball in play.
Yeah, they are. They're going to hit the ball instead of hitting it right to the second baseman who's standing out in right field.
The strikeout rate has been up every year consistently
because you're going against the shift. You're okay. Again.
No, because they're trying to hit home runs. You even talked about it on the show ad nauseum about the launch angle and the this and the that because you want 3 runs instead of
cell
moving.
phone guys talking about something for nauseum.
Ad nauseum.
Whatever you said, I don't even care.
Here, to use an Alan Davis quote, would you stop obliviating things? It's like, Coach, that's not even a real word. Sure it is. Bloviate. No.
Sure it is. Because they say it makes it happen. It makes it true.
It's bloviate. Is that how you say it?
Is that how you say it?
You're like 60 years old. How do you not know this? You've been saying it wrong for your whole life.
I say with that comment, we put a wrap on the show.
We better bloviate this popsicle stand, right?
My goodness.
What does the word mean?
Bloviate? Yeah. Blow out of proportion.
Never heard the stupid word in my life. Oh my gosh. Never heard the word in my life. When the hell would I ever use bloviate? I would never use that.
You should start using it on the show.
Should have used it when you talk about the gosh damn cell phones.
How does cell phones even equate to bloviate?
Because you blew it out of proportion.
Oh, my God.
That's true. That's a good way of putting it. So, hey, if you're still watching and you haven't turned us off, tune in tomorrow at noon for a new episode of On the Move with the Caravan Sports Preview Show with Jim Powers. We're going to be finishing up a little bit of football talk because, hey, took the last week off, and start recapping some early season tournaments, including the one that we were talking about that happened at Herculaneum last week.
Town and Country.
Yeah, Town and Country, not the Doe Run Classic. And a couple other ones, and then be previewing some
Hey, we won
some
a
big
tournament.
games.
Are you talking about our tournament?
Talk about the Norm Stewart Classic.
Oh, you guys suck.
I was waiting for him to.
Wow.
I was waiting for him to say something. I'll say it off air.
Wow.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of this debacle as always. We hope to see you next week for another episode of
Jim, Casper, Powers tomorrow.
That's right.
Kevin Casper too. Where's he been?
Oh my gosh, we got like
that dude's
Jeez,
like
trio of ghosts here.
Jeez, Louise.
You've been watching the coach's box.
He is.
We'll see you guys later. Have a good one.